Imagine stepping outside on a sunny day. The warmth of the sun on your skin, the brightness all around you. You look down, expecting to see your shadow. But something is missing. Your shadow, usually trailing behind you, is gone. It's as if it never existed. What if shadows disappeared from Earth? How would our world change? It sounds strange, but let's explore this idea. Imagine a world where shadows are a thing of the past. Without shadows, our world would be a very different place. The familiar play of light and dark would be absent. Think about how often we see shadows. They're everywhere, from the smallest pebble to the tallest skyscraper. Shadows help us understand light and how it interacts with objects. They give us clues about the world around us. They tell us the time of day and even the shape of things. Sundials, for instance, rely on shadows to mark the passage of time. Without shadows, our perception of the world would be fundamentally altered. The way we see and interpret our surroundings would change. Our understanding of depth, shape, and even time itself would be challenged. The absence of shadows would make it harder to judge distances and dimensions. Let's delve into the science behind shadows and explore the fascinating implications of a shadowless world. How would our daily lives be affected? What new technologies might we need to develop to adapt to this new reality? Shadows exist because of light. Without light, there would be no shadows at all. They are a direct consequence of the way light interacts with objects in its path. Light travels in straight lines. This fundamental property of light is what makes shadows possible. When light encounters an object, it cannot bend around it. When something blocks that light, a shadow forms. The object obstructs the light, preventing it from reaching the area directly behind it. Think of a soccer ball on a sunny field. The ball acts as a barrier to the sunlight. The ball stops the sunlight, creating a shadow behind it. This shadow is a dark area where the light cannot reach. The size and shape of a shadow depend on the object and the light source. Different objects create different shadows, and the light source's position changes the shadow's appearance. A tall building blocks more light, creating a larger shadow than a small mailbox. The larger the object, the more light it obstructs, resulting in a bigger shadow. The angle of the sun also affects shadows. As the sun moves across the sky, the length and direction of shadows change. Low-angle sunlight creates long shadows like we see at sunrise and sunset. These extended shadows are due to the sun being closer to the horizon. Shadows are more than just dark areas. They provide valuable information about the environment and the objects around us. They reveal the interplay between light, objects, and space. The way shadows fall can tell us about the shape and texture of objects. They demonstrate a fundamental principle of physics. Light travels in straight lines. This principle is essential in understanding how shadows are formed and how they behave. Without shadows, our daily lives would be strangely different. Shadows play a crucial role in how we perceive the world around us. They provide depth, contrast, and a sense of time as the sun moves across the sky. Imagine trying to park your car on a sunny day with no shadows to guide you. The absence of shadows would make it difficult to judge the spacing between vehicles, leading to confusion and potential accidents. Judging distances and the size of spaces would be much harder. Drivers would struggle to align their cars properly, making parking lots chaotic and inefficient. Architects and artists rely on shadows to create depth and dimension in their work. Without shadows, their creations would lack the realism and vibrancy that make them come to life. Buildings would look flat, and paintings would lack a sense of form. The intricate play of light and shadow that gives art its emotional impact would be missing. Photographers use shadows to add drama and interest to their images. Without them, photos would appear flat and uninspiring, losing the dynamic range that makes them captivating. Our world would feel strangely two-dimensional and lacking the visual cues we often take for granted. Shadows are essential for creating a sense of space and perspective, making our environment feel rich and textured. Section 4. Nature's Canvas, Redefined. Nature would also look different without shadows. Imagine a forest without the dappled sunlight and shade patterns we're used to seeing. The interplay of light and shadow creates a sense of depth and texture in nature. Animals use shadows for camouflage and to hunt. Predators rely on shadows to stalk their prey, while prey animals use shadows to hide. Without shadows, the balance of nature could be disrupted. The world would feel bare, lacking the visual richness and complexity that shadows provide. Section 5. Shadows in Technology. Believe it or not, we use shadows in technology. X-rays, for example, rely on the shadows cast by our bones to create images. Doctors use these images to diagnose injuries and diseases. Sundials, one of the oldest timekeeping devices, use the shadow cast by a central rod to tell time. Without shadows, these technologies would be impossible. The absence of shadows would necessitate a complete reimagining of various technologies. It underscores the subtle yet crucial role shadows play in our technologically advanced world.